Nice one. Right, hi. Last session, I am Dan Mumford. Just want to say those last two sessions were absolutely storming. Loved them. And check out the auto tectonic stuff on Bandcamp. I've got it all. It's really good. That's cozy stuff. Right, so a couple of things. Tell me if I mute myself, because I probably will. Just let me know, because I've got no idea if I do or not. And that's about it. Let's sort of start talking about some sound design and stuff. I'll just do like a bit about myself. I'm a composer, sound designer, and I own a production music library called Raft Music. I spent 10 years at Radio 1, making promos, jingles, music, audio producer for the chart show, audio producer for Scott Mills, audio producer for Chris Moyles. So did that for 10 years. Left in 2014 to become a composer and sound designer. So I've written music and I do write music for production libraries like EMI, Universal, B&G, and do sound design for those as well, and my own library as well. Some of the sound design I do is used on TV and on movie trailers like Captain Marvel and what was it, The Grudge, the new Grudge movie. That's another one that's been used on. And I did a lot of podcast work at the BBC, do a lot of music stuff for it now. So I've done a lot of themes, a lot of Radio 1 kind of centered stuff, including Great Dancer, Live Lounge Uncovered, Life Hacks, Unexpected Fluids, Scarlet Moffat, loads of stuff. And a little bit about my library is Raft Music, music and sound effects of TV, radio, film, podcasts. And I also make kind of sound effects packages that work pretty well on radio and podcasts, which are called Dark Arts Effects. They're free to use, so you can use them whenever you want, however you want. So I just thought for the last kind of thing, maybe it will kind of be a bit of a halfway house between Casey and Axe's, really. I'll show you some kind of basic as hell sound design, and then I'm going to sort of like try and make something out of it, and then maybe we'll just sort of do a bit of sound design and try and make something. Don't know what it's going to be, just do it on the fly. It might be rubbish, it might be good, but that's kind of how I like to do stuff. So also just please let me know if you've got any questions, because if you have, and if you think I'm talking about stuff you don't want to hear, I want you to, have stuff that you want to know about. So, okay, let's do the old share my screen. Right, cool. Let's go then. So I use Logic. So we've had like a modular synth, Cubase and Logic, just to show you that it doesn't matter at all what you use to do sound design. You can use anything, it's all the same. And so I was looking last night for a synth, like a free synth that I could like recommend, and I found this one called Helm, which is here, and it's really good. I think it's brilliant. It's got all the stuff that was like shown earlier, like your amplitude envelope, your filter, and filter envelope, which will control that. So there's loads of little bits in there that are totally the same as the modular synth, but it's free and it's really cool. And if you want later, I'll be able to go through some stuff. But right now, I just want to do like the most basic thing, which is pull up some noise. Right. Okay. I'm going to record that. You know what? Good. That is the amplitude envelope, and that's not how I wanted it to be. I wanted it to be like that. So, right. Well, exciting. Let's bounce it, right? And because, like, obviously people, you know, I assume a lot of you work in audio. I'm going to do this with audio because it's kind of a bit easier to kind of, it's just a bit easier to look at, isn't it? A bit more visual. So here you have boring noise. Now, what I kind of think about when I'm doing sound design or anything really, or what anyone should be thinking about, is like, what are the most simple, what things can you do to audio to make it, what things can you do to manipulate it? Like, I think one of the most obvious ones is you can make it louder over time, so you fade it in. And just in case we were talking about earlier, you can have that logarithmic kind of fade, which will come in super fast and it doesn't really sound like a fade. Or you can do that exponential thing, which is like, it's nothing, it's nothing, it's nothing, and then suddenly it whooshes up. So it sounds a little bit, like the C now, I think, like a wave. So also, what's the other thing you can do? You can fade it out. So it sounds even more like a wave. So there we have that. So you've already transformed it, you've already done something to it. Let's make a copy of it so we can compare later. So what else can you do to a sound? You can put it in a space. So you will use reverb for that. I'll just use the stock reverb just because it's just the easiest thing. Chrome reverb is pretty cool. So yeah, it's in a room now, or it's in a concert hall. And I like the way you can EQ this so it can sound all fizzy at the end. Really sort of nice fizz at the end. Now, what I really want to do is kind of to show how sound design is kind of, I totally see it as sculpture. And so if you see this as this noise here, noise 1, is like a block of stone. You can also, once you've, let's try and bounce it, you're kind of carving out a shape. So you've had that block there of just sort of pure block of stone. I've carved this out already. So we've got the reverb on it. So what else can we do to it? We can change where it is. So in terms of that, how do you do that? So, I mean, it's pretty obvious, panning. Oh, here we go. Bugle. So these things, these kind of super simple things, they're all on your little faders on here. You know, they are the fader, the volume, the pan. They're so, a lot of the time when I think about sound design, I kind of start freaking out because it's so sort of complex and dark arty, but it's not really when you think about it. You can do little things and it will make it sound totally different. So that kind of sounds like it's whooshing past your face. So it's going from one side to the other. And now let's bounce that again and see how we've like changed the how we've changed the sculpture kind of thing here. So there you go. Quiet on one side, loud on the other. And then, I mean, a couple of other simple things you can add to it. We can use like a delay-based effect, like chorus, which will make it sound kind of phasey, flangey, chorusy. So yeah, it's awesome. And then maybe just boost it up with some distortion. See, and then, oh yeah, okay, cool. That's another thing we can do, is the frequencies and what frequencies we're using. So kind of giving it a bit more drive there, which is cool. But let's just use a bit of EQ. So we'll use the low pass filter on it, which basically what that does is gets rid of the high frequencies up to a point where you decide. So if you just have it there, you just hear a tiny rumble. There, a bit more. There you're getting some mid, high frequencies, super high frequencies. So what we want to do is automate that, so it sounds like it gives it more of a whooshy sound. We'll go on the old automation, EQ, high cut, low pass, same thing. We'll make it sort of follow that volume envelope. Ooh. Yeah, so like, let's bounce that again. Super uber bouncy. Right. So we've gone from this, and well, not even that because it's got reverb on it. That, and even looking at it, I love to look at the differences from this to this. In using volume pan chorus filtering, so it's kind of, there's so much you can do with so little, which is what I kind of want to say. Now, I just want to see if there's any questions. No, cool, that's fine. So let's get rid of some of that. But if you do have any questions, let me know and I will stop and try and answer them. Okay. So the other thing I wanted to do, just make some stuff. Yeah, just kind of play around, because I can't emphasize enough how much just playing around and just messing about is most of what I do. You just keep doing things, playing, messing around, and suddenly, or something will come out of it. Something, you might do a load of rubbish, and then out of it something will kind of come, and it's worth it for, like, if you keep pushing to just keep going. So what I'm going to do is to make this to make some stuff. I'm going to show you this plugin, which I think if you're like kind of starting sound design, I would recommend this so much. Synplant it's called. So it doesn't use the, well, it does use the envelopes, but it doesn't use kind of your basic synth. It's not like this, is it? It doesn't even look like that. It works on the premise that there is a seed of a sound, and you can grow that seed and it will mutate the sound, and then you can use that, you can make that into a seed and plant a new seed, and basically it is just like an ideas factory for sounds. Basically if ever I'm kind of, you know, haven't got anything in mind, I'll, you know, bring this up and just go crazy with it for ages, because it's just got loads of different things. So if we just kind of, that's the wrong thing. So all of these. Okay, so what you do is you basically plant a seed. That's your kind of base sound. Then we'll kind of grow it. Like that. I'll do more. That's too spooky for me. Right, what I want to do is to have some kind of like, I'm thinking, I kind of want like a bass drone. Now in here, this is super complicated. You don't need to really look at this, but we can do envelopes here, and we needed to sort the volume envelope out so that it sustains more. Okay. Now, let's just start again. Let's plant a new random. Okay, let's just record that in. Literally just that sound. Because like before, I like to start with the simplest thing that we can. Oh no, I can't do that. Let's just bounce it. So here, like you can see here, just like the earlier session, we've got fast attack that's coming in pretty loud there. That's where the attack is at its highest, then it will decay super fast as well. So okay, so I want to kind of, I want that to be lower. So let's pitch shift it a bit with the, so I'll just take it down not too. And now to make this into kind of more of a droney sound, there's a really good plugin called Adaptive Verb, which is like this really good reverb. It will just like let stuff go on forever. So let's bounce that actually. Drone one, we'll call it. Now, because it goes on for ages, it's a huge. Now, to kind of create a drone here, I'm going to get put that over there because it's quite good. I might use it later. I make that a kind of continuing thing. So what I'm going to do is copy it, and I'm going to crossfade it into itself. So as is usually the case with me, it's going to become some kind of spooky thing. This is going to be. Okay. So what I want to do is make something. I don't know what it is. What is it going to be? Drone, a kind of small bit of music for a crime podcast or a horror podcast. I'm not really sure yet, but it'll be something. Let's go back to Simplant. so if you take down the release of this sound, so let's just sort of slow down a bit, Dan, because I always go too fast. We can tweak the release quite quickly on this. So this is sort of like piano-y, plucky piano, harpy sound that we can have huge release on, or just nothing. Kind of like it. The whole thing seems to be, with the drone, seems to be going a bit reverby and smeary. So I kind of like that. So let's just record that in. I think it's a bit fast though. Let's take it down slightly. Let's bounce that. I'm being totally unorganized and just bouncing without renaming, but I kind of want to get into showing stuff instead of just doing the boring bits. We can sort of change the EQ of that because it's, what is it? It's kind of, yeah, I'm going to want to take down that bumpy sound. Do you want to move that up a bit? Just what happens if you, I always think, what happens if you boost this? Do something ridiculous. Okay. That's a nice little plucky sound. What about a kind of, I mean, this is getting super drony, so let's sort of go, let's think about maybe some kind of really subby sound. So I'm going to replant. Oh, yeah, there we go. Oh, that's the random. Right, see that. I want to. See, that's not even, I don't think that's deep enough what I want, but what I'm going to do is just record it here. It's totally not even in time. Let's try and. Right, let's bounce that. I'm going to totally, what I'm going to do with this is make it really, I want to make it really low. What am I going to use for that? How am I going to bring it down really far? Let's try the sound shifter to bring it down an octave. Oh, that's low enough. So basically, right, I'm moving way too fast, aren't I? So with that sound, we just made it in Simplant, a low kind of near pluck, bounced it out, use the wave sound shifter to throw it down an octave, and then get rid of all that so that we've just got the sub range. So it's a nice kind of sub. I don't know if you can hear it, depends what speakers you've got. But you know, now it's getting super scary. Now, think about making some kind of percussive sound, I reckon. So let's read, because I want to make everything from this. Let's go in the DNA again. And this time, if we want a really short percussive sound, we need a fast attack, not much decay or sustain. So just there you go. So let's mutate some stuff. Where is that? I'm going to use that, plant that seed. Let's try that. Let's bounce it. So it's like a perk sound. So yeah, I mean, this is like super kind of true crime kind of podcast thing, isn't it? Let's EQ it. Right, now look at this. With these EQs, you've got the, you know, where you can see where the sound is sitting. And then what would be quite good is if we add a delay to that. Just to give it some movement. Yeah, if anyone wants to, if you've got any questions, don't hesitate to ask. I'll always stop. And if you've got any questions about plugins or anything I'm going too fast on, etc., just let me know. Let's try like a bass drum sound or something. What was that? It's too complicated. It changes so dramatically. Hasn't got that kind of, it hasn't got quite a fast enough attack for me. It's kind of knocking. Woo. How can we, what can I do to this? So like there's something in it that I need to kind of get rid of. Let's bounce it. Bass drum. just use the high pass filter, the low pass filter. What would be good is maybe to put this bass drum in a bit of a room, maybe. No, maybe not. That'll muddy up everything. Let's try. Let's try making another sort of pad synthy drone sound. Plant a seed. Okay, that's super scary. That's too atonal for me. Yep, totally getting super scary, but you know. So just to kind of go through what I did there, that sounded quite good. So I turned down the atonality, even though it's pretty atonal anyway. Turn the release up a bit so there's more of a sustain to it. Yeah. And try to get in tune with this. So you can hear that's got a super long attack. Let's bounce it so that kind of scary because it's scary. So that you've got your, you go away. The attack is really long, goes up to here. So it's like a 6-second attack. Let me just see. Okay. Do that once more. Oh, but this time I don't want to. Oh, right. You know this sound that we just started with? Let's bring them back. Because another super simple thing you can do is reverse it. So that might be quite good. Let's do a little arrangement of this scary, super scary crime theme written only using one weird sound design generator. that is kind of, I don't know if it's any good, but it's something we've made out of sounds using the kind of basic principles of like amplitude and volume envelopes, EQs, panning we haven't really done here, but I mean, you know, it's kind of, we can do some of that on the percussion. You know, we can actually use a the Waves Mondo mod will do that for us. So yeah, cool. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to turn this off for a second, and just if you just want to know if you've got any questions. About anything. Okay, so if you want to know anything about stuff I've been doing here, or you know, anything about the library or effects or doing sound design, do let me know. You can email me dan@raftmusic.com, and you can DM me on Instagram. It's _raftmusic, or on Twitter, it's raftmusic on Twitter. So yeah, cool. I hope you found it kind of useful. All right, cool. Bye-bye.